Good evening, everyone. I am Pastora Denise, and welcome to Tonight with Matthew 5:16. So, for the past nights na, since last week, we've been sharing with you our character studies of different characters in the Bible, real people in the Bible, and what we have learned from them. So for tonight, for this Tuesday night, I would like to share with you what I have learned so far in studying a particular character in the Bible, and his name is Philip. So Philip is appears in the New Testament, and he is one of the apostles of Jesus Christ. So he is among the 12 apostles or disciples of Jesus Christ, and he is somehow the quiet figure, or unlike the most common or most famous disciples like Peter, John, and Andrew. There are just a little bit of episodes or instances that we get to see Philip. In fact, in the New Testament, he is mentioned for only 7 times, and specifically sa book ng Gospel ni John. So come on, let's learn more about who Philip is, because although he had a sort of a quiet performance in the New Testament, you'll be surprised of how really powerful and meaningful that we can learn from his encounter with Jesus Christ. So first, we can see him in the book of John. Actually, he's also mentioned in the book of Matthew and the book of Mark, but he had more talagang depth and episodes sa book ni John. So we can learn that he had 4 particular encounters, direct encounters with Jesus Christ, one of which was when he was called. Actually, Jesus called him personally or directly. In John chapter 1, verse 43, it says there, Jesus said to Philip, "Come, follow me." And what is good about Philip was that when Jesus called him, his occupation or work was unknown. Unlike Peter and Andrew, we know that they're fishermen. So the occupation of Philip was unknown. But the first thing that Philip did when he was called by Jesus Christ to follow him was to recruit someone, to invite someone to join him. And he called on or recruited Nathanael. So Nathanael is another disciple of Jesus Christ. So from that story alone, we could realize that Philip was in a way a connector. That he has his way of really convincing people when he believes in someone that come join me because the Messiah had come. And another episodes in the Bible that I think would highlight Philip being a connector or being a connector was that when the Greeks want to have a meeting with Jesus Christ. So Greeks are known for being intelligent group of people. So they heard about Jesus Christ and really wanted to meet with him kasi mahilig doon ang mga Greeks na really to exchange ideas and to talk cerebrally, talk with intellectual people. So when they wanted that time to have an audience or meeting with Jesus Christ, ang nilapitan nila first and foremost is si Philip to connect them to Jesus Christ. So may kakilala ba kayong ganun? Or kayo ba yun? That you're a connector, that you're the type of person na maalam yung mga networks or who knows really who to talk to. Kayo yung go-to person. In fact, I think that Philip was also a go-to person kasi on that instance, on the feeding of the 5,000, it was Philip who Jesus asked first, like where to buy food to feed the 5,000. Now, in the context of that was, it was mentioned in the Bible in John that Jesus already knew what to do and he was just testing Philip on what he would say. And then Philip said that even half of a year's wage is not enough to give even a single bite. But hindi enough yung kalahating sweldo sa isang kalahating taong sweldo ng isang tao para mabigyan ng tig-isang bite yung mga papakainin natin. So, from there alone, pwede naman kasi iba yung tanongin ni Jesus. Pero si Philip yung natanong niya. So, I guess, I was thinking that he was really a go-to person at that. And the more we go deeper to the story and to see, to learn more about Philip, there was this, he had this powerful encounter with Jesus the time that Jesus was already comforting them because he knew that he would eventually die at makukulong siya at kukunin talaga siya ng mga sundalo. And that time that he was meeting with the disciples and comforting them, somehow Philip had the courage to ask him, that's in John 14, he asked him, let me go first to John 14. Philip said, Lord, show us the Father and that will be enough for us. So somehow Philip was, having maybe an episode of doubt ng mga time na yon because unti-unti na nagbibigay ng sign si Jesus that he would soon die. And he said this, Lord, show us the Father and that will be enough for us. And then Jesus answered him, don't you know me, Philip, even if I have been among you such a long time? Don't you know me, Philip, even after I have been among you such a long time? Anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. So, I think that somehow in that particular story, Jesus was teaching or letting Philip realize that I've been with you for the longest time and still you're asking for more proof that the Father or God is in me. So in this, I learned and I realized that maybe at the start of Philip following Jesus, he already saw the vision. He knew exactly that Jesus was the Messiah at nandun yung passion niya and the conviction niya to really follow. Pero could it happen that along the way, as he was following Jesus, as he was seeing him healing the sick, as they go for lots of activities together, that somehow in the middle of that, he missed the chance to have this deeper relationship with Jesus Christ. Kaya nga nung tinanong siya backtrack ni Jesus about how to feed the 5,000, the answer of Philip was very sensible and practical. And having Jesus with you, somehow, you don't need to be logical, you don't need to be sensible. Because when you're talking to God, He's beyond logic, He's beyond reason, and somehow maybe Philip missed the chance, but going on, really having that encounter with Jesus every day, it's also a learning from me based on the story of Philip that let us not miss that opportunity to really get to know Jesus, to really get deeper to who He really is amidst all these activities that you are doing for Him. If you are in the ministry, if you are working in the church, amidst being busy, reaching out to people, leading your cell groups, let us not really miss the concept or really miss the heart of it all. That whatever we are doing is because of Jesus Christ, and that He's far more concerned with having that deep relationship with you than all the activities that is going on in your life right now. So maybe we can resonate with who Philip and what he was before, that somehow yung passion niya, and then it tended to go shallow in the middle. But then when he got rebuked by Jesus that, don't you know me, palagi mo kung kasama, this is your perfect time to really know me and to really say that I am enough. You don't need to see the Father, because if you see the Father, if you see me, you also see the Father. So somehow, it was, I hope, a learning for Philip, because you know what, at the end of the story, we see him being mentioned in Acts that Philip was there when Jesus ascended to heaven, and when the apostles really gathered together para ituloy-tuloy yung ginagawa ni Jesus Christ na paglaganap ng gospel. Philip was there. So I would guess that I would like to assume that it's a happy ending for Philip, that he learned his lesson, that he learned really to cling on to Jesus, to focus on Jesus, not on what he can do, but who he is, to have that deep relationship and not a shallow relationship with Jesus Christ. So yun yung natutunan ko sa buhay ni Philip, and I do hope that somehow if you can relate to the story of Philip, to what he was going through, may you find the assurance that it's never too late to have that deep relationship with Jesus Christ. And you can start now. We can always start by really asking Jesus to show us what's more important is really Him. So there you have it, the life of Philip, and I hope that we get to see you again on the next nights to come as you discover the learnings from other ordinary men and women who have encountered God, and decided to put their trust in Him. My prayer is that may you and I be given the opportunity to encounter God the way those characters encountered Him. A blessed and wonderful evening to all of us. Good night.